Alright everybody, welcome back to Sean's Garage. Today's going to be, I think, a two-part video. I'm going to be doing two things to the Malibu now that I've driven it. Got some miles on the motor, beat up on it a little bit on the street. I don't have a GoPro yet, but one of these days I'm going to get one. And so I don't have any in-car videos, but that'll be down the line. But today we're gonna work on, I'm gonna do a how-to one on the fast DualSync distributor, how to synchronize it or whatever, phase it or whatever to the right position. When I was installing it, I couldn't find a good video that explained that well or properly. So I'm gonna show how I accomplished it, and you guys can take it for what it is. And the other one, I'm gonna be lashing the valves since I put a few miles on it. So, you know, it's a fresh rebuild. I changed the oil already from the break-in oil to, I actually put break-in oil in twice. That's how I do it. So this is on the second oil change of break-in oil. And so I'm gonna lash the valves, and we're gonna be hopefully the what is it, the 34th, I think, of August. We're gonna go to our local track in Lapeer, and covering our local track in Lapeer, and see how she does. And but go ahead and enjoy the rest of the videos. You know, they'll probably be released probably within a day or two of each other. All right, here we go. Let's get started. Alright, here we go. This is how I have it set up right now. I haven't touched the distributor or anything. This is exactly where I have it positioned. And all the wires connected. This is the number one wire coming right here, staying on top, all the way on top, right here, one right here to number one cylinder. Marked on the cap, number one cylinder. It comes with, out of the box, this black ring around the number one terminal. So this is exactly set on number one. None of that. I seen a video on this with a guy that moved all his plug wires off of number 8. So you got number 8 marked right there, and moving it over one. So he was a tooth off. And that comes into play on the LED lights that are under the cap for the to set the phase. So that's what I'm going to show next. The distributor is in place, and if you see, I made a mark. This comes into play too. I made a mark on the housing where number one lies, and I have number one pointed directly at the number one cylinder. Well, on there pretty good. Good seal. All right, here we go. The timing mark is at damn near 0, maybe 1 degree, barely 1 degree advanced. Both intake and rocker are loose, meaning the head or the piston should be at the top of the compression stroke. Position of the rotor. Here's one. Should be, that's about as dead on as you can get it, and that's what you need to really strive for this, is to get it as close as you absolutely can to top dead center. All right, here we go. I've got the cap off of it. I've got the distributor loose, ready to go. I've got the piston up at top dead center. There we go. See, same timing mark. I've got my ECM power on only, but I mean, if you've got it wired to this, wired your ignition and your ECM wired to your switch or your key switch in the column, shouldn't be a problem. Now this is for phasing the rotor. You have a green LED light here, you have a red LED light here. Right now I have it set perfect. Both LEDs are off. My black mark that I have is pointed generally at the number 1 area. It's I'll kind of point them more towards 2, more towards, or not cylinder 2. What would that be? Oh, no, cylinder 3. Put this out of the way. Now, watch the LEDs. You're going to see this one here turn red when I turn the unit counterclockwise. And you hear a click inside the throttle body. That's the injector firing, or I don't know, whatever it's doing. Now if I keep going counterclockwise, that LED stays red, but you can't see it right now, and then you see the green. That's the end of that cycle. F, and then you hear it click back off. Okay, there, the LED turned off. This here is the edge of the light. That's where you're gonna want the red light, is right about just before it turns off. Come on. Right there. You want it as close to it turning on as possible, but not on. You want it just before, right, probably right about there, as close as you can get it without going over. Kind of like the Price is Right. Now if you turn it back clockwise, that is firing number 8. That's the LED coming on to fire number 8. So when we turn it back here, right there, this is number 1. We want it right, no, too much, go back, and then back here, right there. That's where I want it set, and that is perfect. That's exactly where I had it set before. So hold off 1 second, and I'll put everything back together, and we'll fire it. All right, well, since I got the valve cover off, I might as well also go over what I would say was an interference problem between the ignition and the fast what do you call it, the fast ECU to the throttle body. There was an interference problem, and because I had the lines or the wires running parallel and too close together. So this is what I came up with, and this cured the problem for me. All right, so what I have here is this wire here is the main wire coming out of your the fast wiring harness. This is the main wire coming out of it, and that goes to your throttle body. So I got it wrapped around here, and it comes out of the back of the unit there. Then I have right here is the distributor wire. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Let's see around under there, right here. The distributor wire I have routed underneath and away from it, and it plugs in right here. This is the distributor plug-in, but I got it running at least 6 inches away from the throttle body harness. Initially, before I did this, I had this wire for the distributor running parallel up here, clamped along with it, running, you know, because I wanted to try to keep it as clean as possible, but they were running in parallel and right next to each other, and anytime the ignition would fire for the injectors, it would send a pulse. It sends a pulse, and then the ignition system would pick up that and fire the ignition at the same time, and vice versa. You know, if it, you know, the fast throttle body picked up a signal from the ignition to fire one of the cylinders, it would cause the injector to fire. So we had all kinds of trouble. That's why I couldn't get it running myself, I think. And after the first trip to the dyno, that's when we figured it out, after we spent a bunch of time, pretty much all day, thinking maybe my ignition's bad. So I drove all the way back to Mount Morris, 45 minutes one way and back, and changed out the box, and it was still doing it. And then we finally called tech support and confirmed we, you know, after talking with them, figured we had an interference problem. So I thus took it home, brought it home, did that simple move, just moving this wire at least 6 inches away from this wire, and it was cured. When we went back up to the tuner, it was dead on. So, and you know, we verified timing with it, distributor set where it was, because we thought maybe the distributor was wrong. So we played around with that, and then, you know, I actually probably had it had it set right the first time, but we played with that around, and you know, just spent all day chasing our tails just for that simple interference problem. Just make sure you keep your throttle body wiring harness as far away, and if you have to run it parallel, which most likely you will, unless you poke a hole through the firewall in a different location, you know, but everything comes off this main harness right here. Your ignition, if you're having the fast control the ignition, you know, locked out, which you're gonna if you're doing a dual sync distributor, you know, everything's coming, both wires are coming from the same spot, going in the same direction. So just make sure you keep them, you know, I would say, I don't know the exact number, mine look like about 5 to 6 inches apart, and it runs just fine. So if you guys can do that, you should be good. And you know, take it serious when they say interference problems can seriously jack it up and make you chase your tail. All right, there we have it. It's all back together. I filmed 2 episodes at the same time, so you may be getting information for both, you know, a little bit here and there on both videos. But there it is. Last thing I completed, which would be adjusting the rocker arms. Everything's together. Explained the no-go feeler gauge method, and I went over phasing the distributor, the LED lights, and discussed the interference issue I had in between the throttle body wiring harness and the distributor wiring harness. So check out both videos, and we'll see you next time. Fire this bad boy up. These are the hand tools used for this procedure.